Well, they have been enemies for 80 years, but now Tom and Jerry are caught up in a new game of cat and mouse that's playing out on the big screen. In a mix of animation and live action, a new movie is bringing the classic cartoon characters back to life, with some big stars coming along for the ride. Weekend Sunrise movie man Jason Jabba Davis caught up with the cast and the director of Tom and Jerry.
They're among the world's most famous enemies.
You can't count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there.
And now, after 80 years at each other's throats, Tom and Jerry are starting over in the big city. In the new film, Tom and Jerry, the famous duo find themselves in a fancy hotel in New York.
This hotel has been host to 4 presidents, 3 popes, 2 kings, and we're about to host the wedding of the century.
The film is a mix of animation and live action, starring Chloë Grace Moretz.
Do you think you're qualified to take on this position?
I shine under pressure, like a diamond. Or Rihanna.
Hey, great to have you on the show. Congratulations. I've rarely seen so many convincing portrayals of a goofball like what you put into Kayla Montgomery. Was it daunting taking on a role like this?
You know, I think I would love to say that it's a portrayal, but I think I might have been just being a little method there and being myself.
One other thing. We have a mouse problem.
But then what now? Anyone that knows me pretty well, I'm nowhere near the other characters that I usually act as. So this is probably more real to Chloe than other characters.
Chloe has been acting for almost 2 decades and rose to fame after starring as Hit Girl in Kick-Ass, which won her multiple awards.
In the space of a decade, it feels like you've gone from an iconic role that's super physical and super cool as Hit Girl in Kick-Ass. 10 years later, you're playing a super physical role that couldn't be more goofy. What are the challenges in a role like this?
Just as many challenges as that of an action film. It was definitely a level of comedy that I really wanted to bring to it that was similar to, you know, Bob Hoskins and Roger Rabbit and Lucille Ball, who I loved growing up. I really wanted to up the ante on the physical comedy and meet the cartoons halfway.
Also starring is Hollywood veteran Michael Peña.
If a picture of this mouse is tweeted out to Instabook Face or TikTok, we will be ruined.
No, sir, that's not going to happen. That rodent is toast.
He has an impressive resume, from American Hustle to Ant-Man, and most recently Narcos Mexico.
Tom and Jerry looks like one of the crazier films you've been involved with. What sealed the deal for you to get on board?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard that there was a Tom and Jerry movie, I was a little bit worried because, you know, I really love the cartoon and I wanted them to do right by them. When I read the script, not only did I love the characters, but I love that they kept the integrity of the piece intact. And we were able to see Tom and Jerry in their full glory and with the charm that they had when I first watched them when I was a kid.
Hanna-Barbera's classic cartoon characters first came to life in 1940 and are still viewer favourites, which makes it tricky for a filmmaker to do them justice.
Tom and Jerry have been around for 80 years. What were the most important characteristics that you wanted to bring to the screen in your film?
Oh, great. I think it was destruction, you know? I think these guys destroy everything they get near, like almost they're like blind to the fact that they're destroying it. And I wanted to be sure if this movie was going to be successful, especially being in a real world, that we had to bring destruction on a epic level.
I will not let this hotel be ruined by a cat and a mouse.
Tom and Jerry hits Aussie cinemas on April 1st.